This idea actually told me that if I was willing to face what was wrong in me, then it would make things different. It would make me available to do something much better than even I could even dream of. Now that was a challenge. That was something I didn't believe. I can tell you in the beginning I didn't believe it. I thought, it was all a lot of talk, and I didn't like talking. I thought it was doing that mattered. You had to go and do something for society. You had to go out to the people who are underprivileged, work for them, see that they got a better life. So talking about it, I didn't realize, or I didn't think at that moment was so important. Until they came to the point where they said, well, if you really feel that you want to do something, are you willing to look at your own life? I said, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm a good student. I sing well. I'm a good sportsman. What else do you want? I don't do great wrongs. I don't steal. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't womanize. So I'm okay. But then they said, well, there are certain things which nobody can tell you about yourself excepting yourself. So now you look at yourself and you say whether you meet up to the standards that you feel you are looking at others to follow. So that got me thinking. And one of the first things that I thought about was honesty. Basic honesty in my dealing, especially with money. Now while I was still a student, I was a representative for an engineering firm to sell engineering items to Tata Steel, which is a steel company. And I used to get paid for it. And my boss, that is the owner of this company, had told me that if I needed to take any purchase officers, to a dinner, to be able to convince them to give me an order, I was happy to do that. I could do that, and I could send the bill to him for reimbursement. Now I lived in a joint family. I don't know whether you understand what is a joint family, but all uncles, aunts, cousins, we all live in one house and the same kitchen, and all of us live together. And I, being the eldest among the cousins, my other cousins looked up to me for direction. They wanted to know what was right and wrong from me, because in a Bengali home, the eldest is always right. And so we had the right to teach them what to do, and we also had the right to tell them what was right and what was wrong. Now, I was at that position, and here was this offer from my boss. So I had to prove to my other cousins that I was actually a very powerful person. So what do? I take all of them out to a wonderful dinner in the best restaurant in town, and the bill goes to my boss. Now this started happening more often, and not only with my cousins, with my friends. So it's a great way of saying what a great guy I am. I can afford all this at that time of time when we were all students. We could not afford that kind of thing, going to the best restaurants in town. But when I met this idea, and when I was told that, look at yourself as far as honesty is concerned. Now, if you can do something dishonestly with money today, do you think that the people you are pointing a finger at who are stealing money, you feel at the highest levels, are you any different? So that got me thinking, and I said, yes, I feel you're right. I must face up to my dishonesty with money if I at all seek to have the right to say anything to anybody on money. It was a difficult decision, I can tell you, but once I started this idea of taking time in quiet to think about where I could correct myself, then one of the first things that came to me was to go back and return this money to my boss. Very difficult decision. The first time I thought, no, I will not do that. I will just stop doing it anymore. I will not take any more people to a restaurant and send the bill back to my boss. I will just stop doing it, that's all. But I will not go back and apologize, because that would be too much a hurt to my ego. But after this idea started coming again and again, it was very uncomfortable, and I decided to take a plunge, to take that step towards this idea. So I went to Calcutta where my boss stayed. I confronted him, and it took me a lot. I can tell you a lot of my ego was hurt when I could finally tell him that actually I have cheated you. I have used your money to entertain my own family and my friends, and I'm sorry. He was stunned. For a while he said, I know all my agents do it, but I did not expect it out of you, because you are the son of a diplomat of our country. You don't need the money. Why did you do it? I was very ashamed. But at the same time, something in me felt very good, that I was able to face up to what I had done wrong. And I said, yes, I'm sorry. I'm happy to resign from my job, and I have 2 months of my salary pending. Please take it as a back payment for this. He thought for a while and he said, no, you are giving me good business, so you don't have to leave. You go on doing your job. I will increase your salary so that you don't have to do this anymore. So that was my first experience of having to face honesty, face my own ego, but at the same time come out on top. So that gave me a lot of faith that maybe there was something to this idea.